Did we see the cryptic Mohamed Salah post, by the way? Which is basically just himself, Trent and Virgil. Him and Trent standing over the free kick, Virgil in the background, and no caption. He knows what he's doing. I'll give him that one. So Lewis Steele spoke a little bit about Mohamed Salah as well, and he said, on Salah saying his deal is far away, I've heard contrasting things to this. One guy told me they were closing in on a deal, and another guy said they're miles away, so it's probably somewhere in the middle. Look, there isn't going to be a situation where Salah and Virgil don't stay. I just don't see it not ending up that way, because ultimately it's what everybody wants. And I'm hoping that it is down to a length of contract thing. I'd really love if that was the sticking point here, because I don't understand why Liverpool wouldn't just give the extra year if that was the sticking point, because you still have an opportunity there to sell if needs be, which of course we don't want to happen. With Mo, I think the length of contract that matters for him, not the money. He wants to break records. Look, again, I don't know what the length of contract offer has been or what he wants, but me as a fan, I think the ideal number for me is a 2-year contract extension, so this season and 2 more, and then an option of a third one that the club can trigger if they want to. Now, again, that's just me being a fan and giving my absolutely ideal outcome of it. And I would be the same for Virgil. But if the difference between keeping them or losing them was an extra year, I think it would be less of a difficult decision with Virgil, who doesn't rely on a lot of attributes that aging will probably hinder him with. I think the potential for a drop-off there comes more with Mohamed Salah in the future. If you're going to that extra third year, I can understand maybe a little bit of concern around that, but you can only play the cards that you're seeing, and Mohamed Salah has been impeccable this season, and the numbers speak for themselves there, and nobody can tell you what Mo does in 2 years. He can't tell you, I can't tell you, no data that the club have can tell you. It's all a leap of faith to some extent. You can look at, his history, him now. Maybe you can make some type of projections, but ultimately, I think the reason we're seeing the best of Mo this season for me is that his fitness has been managed better. He hasn't had as many international games. He didn't have a summer tournament. He's got a rest, and I hope that this leads us as a club to say we can't just keep playing him every single week, particularly over the next few years. If it's a 70-game season and you get 45 games out of Mo, that's brilliant. That's what I'd like to see him manage to try and keep that longevity. I'm going to just have a look at this post. I'm starting to think you're obsessed with me. I think the other two, Mohamed Salah and Trent, could take a leaf out of Virgil's book. Carragher reacts to the cryptic social media posts from Virgil van Dijk. Yeah, to be fair, Carragher has been rather opinionated on Mohamed Salah's situation, and certainly feels like he doesn't think Mo's been doing the right thing, and he points to Virgil van Dijk. Carragher's in the opinions business. He's entitled to have his. You're entitled to have yours. I'm entitled to have mine. And I don't think any 10 people would deal with the situation the same. They'd all have a different viewpoint on it. And they might have different motivations for why they want to speak out. Mohamed Salah could be in a point where he's desperate to stay at Liverpool, and maybe he's getting worried. Or, maybe Virgil feels more relaxed about it. I don't know, but I wouldn't be overly annoyed at any of them. The one that annoys me the most is Trent saying nothing, which I know other people think is a professional thing to do. So again, as I said, it's opinions. I'm glad Salah is speaking up, said Aaron. I think the club should be called out on it, is my opinion of it. But look, here's what I will say. Regardless of any of the individual 3 situations, the club have made an absolute mess of this in a PR perspective. And it's been a failure from the higher ups. Because like I've said, Hughes didn't cause the issue. He inherited it. But he's had time to resolve it. And he hasn't done it. And it was the first thing in his inbox. And it was the thing everybody said was the first thing he had to resolve. And he hasn't done one of them. So somebody here needs to take some goddamn responsibility and fess up to this shit. Or say you're not up to the job and depart. Because you had fuck all to do in the window. Signed Mamardashvili, who would have ran to Liverpool, and Chiesa on a bargain. And outside of that, we did nothing. So I'm finding it really hard to make any excuses for Richard Hughes at this point, who has been invisible in front of camera or notable from his absence. It's just not good enough. It's his job. 7 months is bullshit to not sort one contract. Carragher responded with, "I've always been obsessed with you, Mo. Hopefully that obsession will continue next season." So there you go.